Hello everyone and welcome to Net Crypto, where you get important information and news about all coins and tokens of interest. And today we're taking a look at Blockdag. So one of the Net Crypto members have requested that we do a deep dive into this one, right? So I'm going to be sharing with you some key information why you should be concerned about Blockdag pre-sale, right? And one of the things is I no longer hold the view that there is a technical scam. Technically looking at the whole project, it seems like the team is really aiming to achieve everything that they are saying they are going to, right? But with that said, there are a lot of concerns, a lot of red flags into this one, and information that you need to know as an investor, right? So if you want me to do a review, a deep dive such as this one, ensure that you join the Net Crypto membership, right? And thank you to all the members who have joined the channel. You are the guys that help us to do what we do here at Net Crypto. So thank you for that, right? So let's jump straight into the content, right? So why you should be concerned about Blockdag. So one of the first things that I normally see for investors who buy into these pre-sales is sometimes they don't know there's a vesting schedule attached, right, to the actual pre-sale. This means when launch happens, you are not going to be able to get 100% of your tokens, right? So some investors already know, but some don't. So I just wanted to start with that right off the bat so that you're not confused, right, when launch actually does come. So with Blockdag, there's going to be a 40%, right? 40% is what you're going to get when they launch. And then after that, you get 20% every month until you reach to 100% of the value of tokens that you bought during the pre-sale, right? 40% when launch happens, and then after that every month you get 20%, right? And then after those 3 months, then you are now will be at 100% of your tokens that you bought during the pre-sale, right? So number two is the CEO here is using the OPM strategy, right, in Blockdag. So what does that mean? So the whole Blackdag idea came from the CEO, obviously, and instead of funding it himself or looking for venture capitalists, right, he's using retail investor money to build his vision. So basically, if you are investing into this, you are just giving him money to say, build your vision, right? Build your vision. So investors don't know actually if they are able to be able to break even when launch happens. That's number one. That's the reason why I say in most of these pre-sales, don't buy during the pre-sale, right? You can buy after, and when you buy after, there is no vesting, right? You're not going to be in a situation like what we are seeing happening with a meme token like Wall Street Paper, where now you are minus the amount that you actually bought during the pre-sale. Obviously, you can't compare a meme coin to Blockdag, right? That would be ridiculous. But that happens even with utility projects like Blockdag. You are not going to get the value that you invested in unless extraordinary circumstances happen. For example, we know that there's the 10 exchange listings that they are going after. There's no guarantee, right, that they are going to be getting the exchanges that they actually want. And one of them that everybody wants is Binance, right? And Binance have actually listed projects like Blockdag in the past. For example, Opcoin, Optimism, right, is one of such coins that they listed, right? So it is possible. The only way that investors are going to be able to get their money that they invested during the pre-sale is if the launch comes with a Binance listing, right? And the chances of that is 50-50, right? It's 50-50. Otherwise, the money is actually the money you're going to be in the minus for a very long time. That is if Blockdag even becomes successful. And the OPM strategy of other people's money is not new. Like I said, consider one of the big companies today we have is Amazon, founded July 5th, 1994, right? So when investors were actually buying into Amazon back then, they were buying the vision of Jeff Bezos, right? They were not buying to for example, they drop 100K and then within 2-3 months, they make like 5 million or something like that, right? 100x. They didn't have that view, right? They knew exactly we are buying into this vision. It might play out, it might not, but it's a vision. It's going to take years, right? So it took years for the investors to to actually see that this was a good investment when it came to Amazon. When it comes to Blockdag, we just don't know at this stage. There are multiple projects, just like during the .com era, people were selling domains, right? Saying this domain is going to make you rich. Some did, but others, many of them didn't. Just like you see lots of projects popping up all over the place in crypto right now, there is going to be a crypto bubble in the future. So this concept of other people's money, right, is a dangerous one, because you can see how aggressively Blockdag is collecting money during the pre-sale. Their main concern is about collecting money to the extent that you see they've got a 350 bonus, which we're going to talk about shortly, right? So, like we were saying, investors bought into an idea, not a product. So if you bought into here, into Blockdag, you are buying into an idea. There is no product. They are developing the product right now. As you saw in the last AMA, they are hiring people. They are figuring it out as they go. There's nothing wrong with that. But as an investor, if you decide to go that route, right, you might need to actually um, to take the risk that you're going to not have the full value of your money for the next couple of years, while they're still building the block deck, right? While they're still building the deck to come to its full operation as they envision it to be running and go through all the problems that they need to go through. And there are several serious problems. For example, I do not like at all this point 4, the centralization of mining. This is a massive, massive red flag, right? This, because with Bitcoin, Ethereum, anyone, you can go and buy a miner and start mining Bitcoin. You can start mining Ethereum. You can start mining BTC, plenty of other tokens out there. But what they've decided to do with Blockdag is you can only mine with the miners that you've bought from us. And guess what? Once you buy a miner from us and you start mining, 50% is coming to us anyway, right? I don't like that idea, right? I don't like that idea. This is a deliberate strategy to extract more money from investors, creating unfair, centralized ecosystem, because they are always a leg up, right? They say, no, Blockdag is our project. No, it's Mr. Tanner's project. It's not yours. He's just using your money to build his vision. That's what it is, right? And then let's now deal with the 350 bonus. This is a ridiculous bonus, to be honest. Like, if Blockdag was so valuable, why would you give it out at 350%? Just shows it shows that they are desperate to collect as much money as possible. I think they had a goal of like 600 million, which the CEO is retracted now. Like, but they still have aggressive funding that they need, right? And they want that from retail investors, right? 350%. Can you imagine, right? Bonus. And what is crazy about this, if you don't know, and everyone is marketing this thing. I don't know whether it's bots on YouTube or it's real people. Everyone is marketing this 350%. The CEO admitted that this 350% rather bonus, they haven't agreed on the vesting schedule for this. You know that your money that you buy, right, 1:1 into Blockdag, you're going to get 40% when the thing launches, when the Blockdag launches, and then 20% every month. But the extra tokens you receive as part of this 350%, or any bonus tokens you received, they'll have a separate vesting schedule, right? So you're not going to be able to get all these tokens at once, right? So that just shows that they are getting the money today. When you buy and you're getting this promise of 350%, they are getting your money today. They can start using it today, right? But when you actually get that bonus tokens, right now, the vesting schedules has not been announced, right? So I don't know, is that a good deal or not? You tell me, right? So also, there was a talk about the 30 million for development, for grants, right? This 30 million is coming from investors as well. It's your money if you invested into Blockdag. It's your money that is going into Blockdag to fund other people. For what? For the purpose of making Blockdag useful, right? That's why I'm saying, if you're investing into this thing, you need to have a long range view. You're talking about 5-10 years, right? And 5 years or even 1 year in crypto is a very, very long time, right? Will Blockdag even exist within 1 year or 2 years or 3 years? We hope so, but it's a massive risk. There's no reason for you to buy during the pre-sale right now, right? I definitely wouldn't buy during the pre-sale. If I would buy after the pre-sale because I'm getting all of my tokens, right? And chances are I'm going to buy it at a much better price than the current price of the pre-sale, right? And investors' money is funding every single thing, including the new hires. Did you see all the new hires that they hired? Well, they are getting paid by investors' money, right? How much is the risk is the CEO taking here, right? They are paying for salaries, development, expansion, everything. And even these partnerships with teams like Inter Milan and so on, it's investors' money that is paying for all these things. And they're going to be looking for more partnerships. But they are not making any money right now. This is where the danger is. If money is just coming in, you're not actually generating any income yourself. What do you need? You need more money to keep coming in, and then you're spending on one side, and you're expecting investors to keep footing the bill on the other side, right? If that well runs dry, what happens to the whole project and all the money that investors have put in? That's something that you need to think about, right? So there is no accountability. And by the way, if you don't know, there will be zero accountability for the CEO if Blockdag fails. So if Blockdag fails, nothing happens, there will be zero accountability. Why do I say that? Well, because it's just an investment. It was an vision, they tried it, it didn't work, right? It was an investment. You're an investor, right? That's what happens. Even governments say they don't protect investors. They say you invested, it didn't work out. It's on you, right? And the other thing why this is so dangerous is, for example, like a company like Amazon that is listed, right? The issue here is these companies that are listed in traditional markets, they have to show their accounting. Their accounting is much more strict. They have to show their accounts, I think, twice a year, right, to all the investors. But unfortunately, in crypto, which is why entrepreneurs like Mr. Tanner loves projects like this, because he doesn't have to do all those those accounting, right? You can just spend money any way that you want, hire people, and no one will even see what is happening with the money. For example, um, we haven't done a trace for this one. There has not been any trace requested for Blockdag like the other projects to actually check how much money is coming into Blockdag and how much money is going out and how is the money going leaving the project. We haven't traced that on the blockchain. It's actually quite a technical tracing, which is going to take a lot of time, right, to do, right? And we haven't had anyone who's requested that on the membership levels, right? So because that's one of the things. Where is the money going, right? They say they've raised 100 and some 90 million. How much have they used? And they need to release these reports. How much salaries is Blockdag actually paying per month, right? How many contracts, like freelancers, did it have to pay? How much is the hardware equipment going to cost, right? And all of that. And the hardware equipment actually is paid for upfront, right? By a lot of investors have already bought, I think 6 million or something, right? US dollars that they've already bought this hardware that doesn't exist yet. They say that they are very close to closing everything up and all, but to me it sounds like there's still some way to a room to go for that, for the hardware to be ready. If you ask me, judging from what the AMA, right, and considering that this is a project that is centralized, they don't want anyone else to be able to mine unless you've got their own mining equipment. This is crazy, right? This is a decision that I don't agree with the miners and all that. So just know, if this Blockdag fails, there's no accountability from the CEO, right? And a post-launch liquidity disaster awaits, right? So even if Blockdag makes it to launch, early investors might actually struggle to sell their tokens at a profit, right? Without major exchange listings like Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, like liquidity is going to be weak. If they don't get Binance, right, they need Binance. If Binance doesn't happen, so everything hangs on if Binance listing comes. So if Binance listing comes, then the investors have a chance to actually break even with what they invested during the pre-sale, or even better, make a profit. But if Binance doesn't happen at launch, you are looking, you'll be fortunate if you get to 50 cents on the dollar that you invested into Blockdag, which means if you invested $1 million into Blockdag, right? If Binance doesn't happen, you'll be very fortunate to be able for your tokens to be worth 500k, which is 50%. You'll be very fortunate, right? So final thought is that the risk is just too high right now, which is the reason why I always say don't buy during the pre-sale, right? Blockdag's model is entirely built on retail investors' money. There's no guarantees of success. There's no real accountability if things don't turn out the way that they were supposed to, right? And if this project is truly legitimate, right, you can still invest after it is launched, right? Right now, the risk is just too much. It's just too much, and all this risk, it's not the CEO that is taking the risk, right? It's investors like you and me who are taking this risk. So this is a deep dive without tracing the money, right, into Blockdag, how the money movement is happening, right? So you tell me, do you think that this is it's a good idea to invest into Blockdag right now? Me, definitely, I'm interested in the technology. I liked the security guy. Out of all the guys, I like the security. I like this approach. I like this approach of bug bounties, dual bug bounties with two different companies to ensure a robust security for a blockchain. I like that. I like the fact that they will be supporting ERC 20, right, 721, 1055, all those standards. I like the whole idea and everything. But then for now, it's still just an idea. And even if they do develop the DAG, they still need a lot of people who are going to be able to use it for it to be actually useful, right? Because you might build it, but nobody uses it, right? That has happened to a lot of businesses. So it's better for you to wait until after it is launched. If you want to buy, or if you've already bought, I wouldn't advise buying anymore, right? Let this thing go to launch, and then after that, you can decide to buy, right? This is my thoughts for this one. Let me know, what do you think, right? Don't forget, join the Net Crypto membership to get perks, right, such as this review that we have done. Or if you want to do something more complex, you want some tracing to be done, you can join the relevant level, right? You can join the relevant level for tracing, right? There's basic tracing and there's more advanced tracing, right? For example, a project such as Blockdag will require advanced tracing because they are accepting money even from tokens like Trump, like new tokens they've just got listed. So you need to tally everything together to see how much money is coming through each and every a token, and then see where the money is going and all that, and that takes a lot of time, right? So this is what I wanted to share with you for today. So let me know, right? Do you think it's Blockdag is going to deliver on everything they've promised, right? Are they going to ship out all the miners? Everyone is going, and everything is going to be working the way that they envision it. Launch is going to come. What do you think? Right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.